So there you can see me.
Yeah, you have to lean in a little bit.
All right.
All right, they can hear us well, so good evening. Special guest host tonight, Linda. Say hello.
Hello.
All right, so for the next, we'll do this for about half hour or so, and then, of course, the live reading. It is the live reading Tuesday. Andy is still sick, so he's going to be listening. He said he was going to check us out, so.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, Andy. Yeah, like that picks up really well. Like they can't hear that, the headphones or our conversation with Mike, but that's what goes on. Live reading, Tuesday night, May 9th. Music's playing in the background. We're going to get started here in a minute. The Secret Life of Heath Ledger. I wonder what his secret life is. Probably drugs.
Probably.
I don't know. I shouldn't say that.
Some sort of emotional.
Janet Jackson split up.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, she's had a baby too.
Yeah, I knew she had a baby.
Like she's 50 something. Not that 50's old.
I'm not hearing. Is there?
It's slow. Hey, welcome. Can you hear him now? Linda cannot hear you at all, Mike. All right. Maybe.
I may be, Mike.
See, you can hear that. So you heard that? It's very low, but
Very low.
it's very. They're working on that. It's been a while. They keep saying that, but they're working on it. So, welcome, Linda, back to the live reading. Linda, of course, to our listeners, they hear you on Saturdays when you do the newspapers, correct?
Yes.
And then on the bookshelf.
Yes.
And what are you doing on the bookshelf right now?
I'm reading Antoine Fisher's book. It's called Finding Fish.
And who is Antoine Fisher? What's his claim to fame?
Basically, Antoine grew up in the Cleveland area back in the 70s, and he actually is a very noteworthy screenplay writer. He has done a lot of movie work. And,
Okay.
And he turned out to just be a little fellow who was in the he was under Children's Services care.
Oh, okay.
And awarded the state basically, and had so many faced against all the odds, and really, just came out to be a very noteworthy person.
So what movies would we know him of or as a part of?
Truly, I honestly don't know what movies he's written.
Okay, or plays. I mean,
yeah, plays.
okay.
I haven't gotten that far in the book yet.
He's still a kid in Children's Services.
He's still in Children's Services, but I had the pleasure of meeting this fellow.
Oh, you've met him? Okay.
Yeah, he actually spoke at the Akron Area Urban League. And so after hearing him speak, I picked up the book, and I just thought this would be a nice inspirational story to read.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Here, so.
Now, what have you read besides Antoine Fisher then?
Of course, Rick Springfield.
Rick Springfield's book, which was a little, we saved that for Sweeps Month because it was a little racy, huh?
Yeah, it was. It was a little bit
juicy.
You can't feed butter to a cat.
You can't feed butter
to a cat. And
is that the name of his book?
No, that was actually my friend from high school.
Oh, okay.
Tony Bablis and his dad. It's a book about his dad.
Oh, nice.
And so just finished that before this one.
You can't feed butter to a cat. Why not?
Well, I guess you technically can, but it probably isn't the best thing you can do.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm like, all right. I mean, I don't know.
Dad asks a lot of crazy questions of Tony and wakes him up in all hours of the day and night just to, try to find answers to life's mysteries.
So he's getting these random kind of questions, and like what was one of the questions?
Oh, let's see. I know Dad usually will call him at 5 o'clock in the morning and ask him to come over for a turkey dinner.
Really?
Yeah, because he wakes up and makes it. He basically starts eating as soon as he gets up.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it was after Tony's mom died that basically he kind of inherited Dad living next door and just using him as the sounding board instead of the mom.
Wow. And Tony's a local guy.
Yeah, he's a local guy here, and he's actually working on another book, I hear. So
oh, nice. So you'll probably do that one
too.
All right. Well, that's very cool. So again, that's. Now, I'm not sure when the bookshelf airs, but I know you usually work on those on Saturdays, and then you also do the Saturday the Saturday paper as well. So very cool.
Yes, I really enjoy doing it, and met a lot of nice folks here that volunteer.
Yeah.
And
I don't know many of the other people because I'm only here on Tuesdays. I only know Larry.
oh wow, you're missing out.
Yeah,
Scott.
seriously, I know.
Seriously,
Because
there
I
are
know
a lot of nice people that volunteer.
And I know Marilyn has come on Saturdays because I have popped in on a Saturday. Marilyn, who brings the cookies, so
Yes.
we heart Marilyn, isn't that how it goes? Something like this.
Yeah.
And we both got the purple memo for
We
today.
do. See, I got the memo.
The purple memo, yeah. Hey, today is Tuesday. It's May 9th, year 2017. We are reading live from the Tribune Chronicle and the Youngstown Vindicator. Leading off from the Vindicator, Youngstown sees a growing interest in medical pot industry. Wow. As many as 6 groups are interested in growing medical marijuana in Youngstown, with most, if not all of them, expected to give presentations Monday to Youngstown City Council. We're interested in the job creation that comes with it, says Mayor John A. McNally. The goal Monday is to have the groups come in and explain what they want to do. Each group is going to give a presentation of up to 15 minutes with 5 minutes for questions and answers, said City Law Director Rebecca Gerson. City Council doesn't have to take any action, she said. It's mainly an educational meeting to hear about the law from the interested parties and their plans. The area has been so hit by the economic crisis, people would be receptive to this, said Eric White, Chief Financial Officer for Mahoning Valley Agricultural, a group consisting of people from Pennsylvania, Michigan, and California. At the request of the group, its officials met Monday with the Vindicator's editorial board. The state is limiting permits to 24 growers statewide under a medical marijuana law signed by Governor John Kasich in June of 2016. The medical marijuana will be made available to purchase by those with 21 different medical conditions by, and I got the page to continue the story. Yeah, and then they throw like anxiety into it, and then everybody, is qualified for it. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that seems to be how that works in some of the other states. I gotta find where this is at. Oh, here we go. September 2018, the law permits 12 level 1 growers for up to 25,000 square feet of growing space with a potential expansion of up to 75,000 square feet, and 12 level 2 growers to cultivate up to 3,000 square feet. Level 1 groups must submit applications to the state by June 20th, while the level 2 groups have until June 16th. The state will evaluate each of the applications on a point system with information that identifies the groups concealed from those making the decisions to make sure it's a fair process. Each group applying for a level 1 application must give a $20,000 non-refundable application fee and pay a $180,000 license fee if they're approved. The fees are significantly less for a level 2 application, $2,000 for the application fee and an $18,000 license fee. There would also be a $200,000 annual fee for level 1 cultivators and a $20,000 a year for level 2. State law does require that the facilities be indoor and secured by fencing and round-the-clock surveillance and security. Of the 6 groups interested in the cultivation facilities in Youngstown, 5 level 1 licenses, Garrison said. Among them is Mahoning Valley Agricultural, which will seek a level 1 license at an industrial park in the city, said White. A deal to purchase the property is in final stages, he said, and the total investment in the project is going to be about $10 million. The marijuana wouldn't be smoked. Instead, it'll be turned into oils, patches, edibles, or could be vaped, said Sanjay Balwin, the company's senior advisor. The group initially would hire about 60 to 80 people, paying about $20 to $25 an hour, and would have about 300 people working at full capacity. There would be 60 dispensaries throughout Ohio, with Mahoning Valley Agricultural interested in becoming one of them. Youngstown's a great place to be, Balwin said. We'll give preference to Youngstown residents. Tom Ryan, the company's chief executive officer, and he's a native of Pittsburgh, says, I can see the value in the city of Youngstown, the workforce, and the work ethic here in the city. Well, I don't know. I'm not a fan. I mean, I just have to say I'm not a fan.
I'm not either, but I understand for medicinal purposes.
I do understand that there are certain reasons for it. I think that those states that have utilized the medicinal purposes, it gets so expanded. I think that, you say I have anxiety or, I don't feel good. Okay, here's a prescription. So, I don't know.
And they better put a tall fence up around it, huh?
Yeah, seriously. You wonder what that's going to be like.
Yeah, I think they'll have to probably have somebody really patrol that area.
Yeah, I mean, once I just could imagine it being a beacon for all kind of issues. So, what else is going on?
We'll see what happens. Well, out of Warren, a deal would allow Brescia to exit lockup and get treatment. Ian Friedman, attorney for Brescia Matthews in her aggravated murder case, said Monday he and prosecutors have reached a tentative plea agreement that it would allow the 15-year-old to leave juvenile detention May 22nd to begin a 9-month treatment program to resolve her case. Stanley Elkins, meanwhile, the assistant county prosecutor for juvenile cases, would not discuss specifics of the agreement, but said he thinks he and Friedman are close to finalizing a plea agreement. Brescia has been in the juvenile detention since shortly after police say she shot her father, Jonathan Meadows Sr., 41, in the head at their home on Hunter Street Northwest on July 28th. The case had been scheduled for a week-long trial starting May 22nd, but after an hour-long discussion Monday involving Elkins and Friedman in the chambers of juvenile court Judge Pamela Rentala, it's impossible the case will conclude May 22nd. Friedman and Elkins said there are issues to be worked out, but they could be finalized May 22nd when the parties reconvene for a pretrial hearing. Friedman said if the case is resolved with treatment, Brescia would be eligible for case records to be sealed and expunged so that Brescia would go into her adult life without any adverse mark on her record whatsoever. Brescia, who was 14 when the shooting took place, will remain at the Juvenile Justice Center leading up to May 22nd, but Judge Rentala indicated that she was open to having Brescia taken from juvenile detention by jail staff for mental health treatment, Friedman said. Really, a lot of good happened today, Friedman told reporters in the hallway of the juvenile family court. We know now she's not going to just sit idle like she has for the last 9 months. Elkins was not available to talk to the media for about an hour after the hearing while he handled other matters and spoke with 2 members of Jonathan Meadows Sr.'s family. One of the 2 family members was a brother of Jonathan Meadows Sr., and he left the courthouse quickly without talking to reporters afterwards. But Jonathan Meadows Sr.'s sister, Lena Cooper of Nashville, when told by a reporter by telephone what Friedman said about the tentative plea agreement, said she was stunned. "This is unbelievable," she said. "We said no plea agreement because we know that Brescia is guilty. She is totally out of control." Cooper attended last Wednesday's hearing with her husband but remained in Nashville for this hearing. Wednesday's hearing included testimony on a motion by Friedman asking that Brescia be allowed to leave the detention center to live with her aunt in Cleveland and receive mental health treatment pending the May 22nd trial. Friedman and members of Brescia's family have told reporters that Jonathan Meadows Sr. was abusive toward members of his family and that this drove Brescia's actions. But Elkins reiterated Wednesday that there was no evidence of abusiveness on the part of Jonathan Meadows Sr. Court records indicate Jonathan Meadows Sr. had no criminal record, but Brescia's mother, Brandy Meadows, alleged in a 2011 documents filed in the family court that Jonathan Meadows Sr. was extremely controlling and abusive. The case has received a great deal of attention on social media, prompting rallies in various places across the country. News media in several foreign countries have indicated plans to cover the trial. Friedman addressed that in his remarks Monday, saying the social media influence is helping to ensure that this case stands for so much more than one child, because there are many more Brescia Meadows out there who may not get the sort of attention that this case has garnered. If there is not a resolution May 22nd, a trial will be scheduled for October 16th, Elkins said.
Wow. Tragic news from Bezetta and from Warren. A Warren woman died at a local hospital following a 2-vehicle crash Monday morning in the township along Johnson Plank Road, east of North Park Avenue. Mary E. Uri of Niles Cortland Road was the only person involved in the 8:05 a.m. crash, not wearing a safety belt, according to the Ohio State Highway Patrol. Troopers said she was driving west on Johnson Plank Road in a 2001 Chevrolet Venture van when a 1998 Buick Regal 4-door driven by Mark J. Donaldson of Greenville Road, Ferndale, was traveling east on across the left of center and hit the van head-on. Uri's vehicle went into a ditch on the side of the road, landing at a 45-degree angle with the passenger side door in a position that would not allow it to be opened, said Bezetta Fire Chief Dennis Lewis. Uri and her passenger, Melissa Uri, 25, also of Warren, were trapped inside the van. The front end and the engine compartment of the vehicle were pushed back toward the passenger compartment, pushing the front dashboard into the woman's legs, reports state. Firefighters used an extraction device. What page continues the story? To force the door open but could not free the women even after cutting the van roof. Emergency crews then used the device to move the dashboard from the women's legs so the 2 could be removed. It took firefighters approximately 38 minutes to remove Mary Uri and another 20 minutes to free Melissa. The 2 women and Donaldson were all taken to Trumbull Memorial Hospital, with Donaldson and Melissa Uri each suffering non-life-threatening injuries. However, Mary Uri was in critical condition. She later died in the hospital. Champion, Bristol, and Cortland fire departments assisted the scene. The patrol is investigating. As of yet, no charges have been filed. Wow.
Out of Youngstown, the Valley rallies around a sports writer battling cancer. Gary Cousteau has seen fourth and long situations before. As a standout high school and college football player, he faced them on the gridiron. As a longtime sports reporter and photographer, he's seen them from an up-close perspective on the sidelines. A 1982 graduate of Woodrow Wilson High School, Cousteau was a two-time City Series first-teamer at middle guard. He went on to be a 3-year starter. Also at middle guard at Adrian College in Adrian, Michigan. Now, as a 52-year-old recently diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, the fourth and long he's facing is a whole new ball game. It's one he's determined to win. You can't deny, you can't run, you can't hide. It's a new life. If the cancer doesn't eat me up, I'm definitely going to beat this. Cousteau, a correspondent in the Vindicator Sports Department, said he does have some medical insurance, but there will be costs associated with his treatments that won't be covered. His friends and colleagues have organized a benefit to help Cousteau raise money to pay the cost of treatment. It will be from noon to 9 p.m., May 28th at Kelly's Bar and Grill at 1397 Mahoning Avenue. The cost is $10 per person. As soon as I heard the news about Gary's cancer, I just started thinking about what can I do to help, said Kelly, a former football player and coach at Ursuline High School. My whole goal is to help Gary raise some money. Kelly said the ticket cost was kept relatively low to encourage more people to attend. People who wish to donate more will be able to do so during the benefit, he said. Special t-shirts with How Strong printed on the front are also available for $25. Cousteau said he can be contacted via his Facebook account by anyone who would like to buy one. He is well known among local sports circles for his role in creating Valley Playbook, a monthly sports publication he established in 1989 with his brothers Ray and Chuck, and with Bruce Burge, a former Youngstown State University Athletics Marketing Director. For more than 10 years, the Valley Playbook featured coverage of Mahoning Valley High School sports teams, as well as YSU and professional sports teams relevant to the Valley area. Area sports reporters who remember the publication credit Cousteau and Burge with giving local high school athletes a forum in which to be featured. I can't think of a single family that Gary and his brothers didn't positively affect over several decades on the Youngstown sports scene, said John Bacho, who appeared for many years on local radio under the name Mr. Sports. No one ever did it with more drive, determination, and passion than Gary. Every kid that's been recruited from this area for sports owes him a great debt of gratitude. After the Valley Playbook ceased publication in 2000, Gary went on to become a reporter on Ohio State University's athletics beginning in 2001. He is a member of the Buckeye Sports Bulletin and the Bucknuts media staff, working as a reporter and photographer. Earlier this year, Gary was making plans to attend the Ohio State high school basketball tournament when he began experiencing severe abdominal pain. When the pain didn't go away and kept getting worse, he decided to see a doctor. He expected to be given medicine to relieve what he believed was just the stomach flu and get on the road to Columbus. Instead, he got shocking news. The doctor sat down real close to me and put her hand on my shoulder, remembering the day. She said, "I don't think you're going to be going to your basketball games." Tests revealed that Gary had colon cancer. He got the news March 23rd. About 2 weeks later, on April 11th, he learned the cancer had spread to his liver and was diagnosed as stage 4. "It's like your heart drops below your feet," he said of his reaction to the news. His first thought was of his 16-year-old daughter, Chloe. "I just want to walk her down the aisle someday." He's keeping a positive attitude, determined to do what it takes to beat cancer. He goes for walks in Boardman Township Park every day and has adjusted his diet to more healthy fare. "It's not a death sentence," he said bluntly. He's been overwhelmed at the outpouring of support from his family, friends, and media colleagues. He's received messages of support from Jim Tressel, president of YSU and a former head football coach at Ohio State, and from current Buckeyes head coach Urban Meyer. When he attended OSU's spring football game recently, Ezekiel Elliott, former Buckeye standout and current Dallas Cowboys star running back, was there. Elliott walked over, embraced him, and offered words of encouragement and strength. "I'm very thankful and grateful for the support system I have," Gary said quietly. "I doubt that all stage 4 cancer patients have that going for them."
Wow. Very sad.
Very sad. Very.
But he seems to have the right attitude,
Yeah.
which they say is a major way to get through it. So.
Yeah, positive attitude, and good that the Mahoning Valley is rallying around him and going to do something to help him out in this time.
Yeah. For more, police are investigating an early Monday morning armed robbery at the Circle K on Parkman Road Northwest that resulted in two men getting away with $170 and a box of cigars. The men, who wore black scarves over their faces, approached the store clerk outside the building just after 2:30 a.m. and forced her at gunpoint back inside, where both men pointed guns at her and another cashier and threatened to kill them if they didn't hand over cash from the registers, according to the police report. The clerk told the police the men also took a full box of cigars worth about $50, the police report states. I guess I'm a snob because I'll have a cigar once in a while, and a whole box at $50, that's kind of low. Not that I want like a $50 one, they're very expensive, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, while police were at the store, they learned Warren Township police were chasing a vehicle that may have been connected to the robbery, the police states. The Township police stopped the vehicle at Lancer Court Northwest and had a man in custody. 3 other men inside the vehicle, they ran away, the report states. The report states that a Wethersfield police officer and his K-9 partner found a gun near Commerce Avenue Northwest. The firearm was taken by Warren police and searched for possible DNA evidence. Police also recovered a pair of boots near the Commerce Avenue Northwest and a pair of sandals near where the car was stopped on Lancer Court Northwest. According to police, on the charge of complicity was Maurice Javon Bender of York Avenue Northwest. The report states he was taken into Trimble County Jail, where he was being held Monday evening. Bender was not charged Monday. The clerk said the robbers were in their early 20s, stood about 5 feet 8 inches tall. One of the men wore black sweatpants with white lettering, while the other carried a drawstring backpack. The report states the men ran out of the store towards the rear, but the cashiers were unsure whether they left the area on foot or if they got into a vehicle. Wow.
Wow. Well, out of Youngstown, the mother of a preschooler retains lawyers to pursue legal action after an incident at school. Stevelyn Jackson, the mother of the 4-year-old preschool student who was reportedly dragged down a hallway at a Youngstown school, has retained Beatrice Coppin Harshman to investigate the incident and pursue legal action against the Youngstown City Schools and the Alta Care Group. Jen Lohr, an Alta preschool teacher at Programs of Promises at Wilson in the former Wilson School building on Gibson Street, was fired Tuesday after the incident. The episode was captured in a photo by a Youngstown School District employee. Ms. Jackson and her son have both been extremely traumatized by the preschool teacher's inexcusable, inappropriate, and what may well be illegal behavior. Attorney David Beatrice said, "I'm sure no one will be surprised to learn that Ms. Jackson's son is frightened and does not want to return to school. The psychological damage he suffered could last for years and negatively impact both his academic career and his entire life." Beatrice said he intends to fully investigate the incident, contending the school district and Alta haven't been totally forthcoming about what took place that day. "We need to know why this happened, what, if any, procedures and protocols govern operations at the school, and whether the teacher involved has a record of abusing students." Turn the page here. In addition, given the fact that more than 800 children attend Alta preschools, the community needs to know if this was an isolated incident or a regular occurrence, because let's face it, if the Youngstown employee has not reported the teacher dragging this youngster down the hallway by his arm, the episode may never have come to light, Beatrice said. "I think every parent whose child attends an Alta-managed school has a right to be concerned." Denise Dick, school district spokeswoman, said, "We're not going to comment on litigation or a threat of litigation." Laura also has retained an attorney and wants to know why Alta didn't conduct an investigation. Mahoning County Children's Services is investigating. Unrelated to this incident, the district will not collaborate with Alta after this year, Dick said later this week. The school district needs to explain why Alta's contract with the district has been terminated, Beatrice said. The district spokesperson's explanation is reported in the Vindicator. "We just feel we can provide better service to the children. Just isn't good enough," he said. "We all need to understand exactly what that statement means, and we need to know before another youngster is manhandled or abused in some other way."
Wow. The world of social media, though, I mean, every action is put out for the world to see.
It's true.
You hear about these airlines, you hear about people out and about and the things that happen, and immediately, you grab your phone and you put it out there. I mean, obviously, we're doing it here today.
We are.
But it is amazing. And I don't know if it's good or bad.
I don't either. As I sit here on social media, I'm kind of a private person. I think social media is positive in a lot of ways. I think it brings light to a lot of issues that maybe wouldn't be out there. But I'm finding more and more that you really have to be cautious when you're out and around, because you don't know when somebody has a camera on you and could
you're doing your job, and all of a sudden, the job you're doing, and do we all make choices and do things, and are they all 100% correct? No, I mean nobody's 100% correct. The question is that, your mistake all of a sudden is scrutinized by the world. You go and return something to a store and the person doesn't want to take the return back, and all of a sudden you videotape it and put it for the world to see, or, you don't get your way because you think something, it's not, it's a very, very interesting line, and I get it. I don't know what the right answer is, though.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really knows the right answer to this. It's really, I know with myself, sometimes you almost feel violated when people, will take a photo that you weren't aware of, or take a video that you weren't aware of. It's happened to me.
Oh yeah.
And then you look and you say, oh my gosh, that's me.
Yeah. and I mean, I noticed that too. But I mean, because of some of the things I do and the things I participate in, we do take a lot of pictures and we do put things out there. I always am very cognizant of that, and I will put pictures that are not the most flattering of myself out there as well, because I'm taking so many pictures and we're doing so many things that someone may not like theirs. So I don't feel that, I will over scrutinize my pictures before I put them out as well. It's the fairest thing I can do. But, I mean, it's a world out there. And I mean, if you want to be private, you really can't go anywhere. Like, I mean, that's the world you live in, I mean, and some people are like, oh, and I respect certain people's privacy. My best friend doesn't like social media, so we never, do stuff like that. And, I totally respect it. I mean, I don't need, if you know me, he's my best friend, and you don't need to know that we're, drinking beer or eating burgers or doing watching a Buckeye game or the things that we do, If I'm doing it with someone else, will I do it? Of course I will. I mean, I have fun with it, but I respect other people that don't like to do it either, And I've certainly done it with people that I know, with good friends of mine. I have a good buddy that when he was getting his business up and started, I would always take pictures with him, and I'd like, dude, we're just going to put out there. I want people to see that I support you, and it adds to what's going on. So, it's the world we live in.
It has its positives and its negatives, that's for sure. I think if you're respectful of others like you are, and you say, hey, I'm going to put this out there, that gives somebody the opportunity to say yes or no.
Yeah, and I mean, and not always do it. I mean, obviously, sometimes people don't. I mean, if 5 people in a group want to and one doesn't, well, guess what? You're going to lose. I mean, it's life. I mean,
it's true.
And the reality is, it's a stupid picture.
Yeah.
We're not changing your life. I mean, certainly, it's So while we're watching a Buckeye game, does it matter? Does it matter that much?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Most times it doesn't.
Most times it does not, unless like you called off work and said you had the flu, and then you're drinking beers and eating nachos and watching the Buckeye game. Yeah, that probably could cause a problem for you.
I'm a supervisor. Don't tell me such things.
It happens, unfortunately. You're listening to the Youngstown Radio Reading Service. This is WYSUSCA here in Youngstown, Ohio, where it's now time to turn our attention to court news, of which there is none tonight. But we do have a couple verses. Linda, they are on page A7 of the Vindicator. They are all St. Elizabeth Boardman Hospital tonight. Dwayne and Ashley Went of Youngstown had a little girl on May 7th.
And Janessa Saucedo and Ricardo Mendez of Niles had a boy May 7th.
Willashina Daniel and Marquel Anderson of Youngstown had a girl on May 7th.
And James and Tricia Kuziowski of Youngstown had a girl May 7th.
So we, we're 2 for 4, which is 50%. Mommies and daddies with the same last name. We always count that here on a Tuesday. One of the readers that was in a couple weeks ago, he said, my wife and I don't have the same last name professionally, and although we are married, and I said, I get it. But the reality is that's not. I mean, I'm sure that's a percentage, but it's a low percentage here in the valley. And my best friend, his mom said that one time she filled in and read a few years ago, and she goes, "Well, what about that?" And I said, "We're not Hollywood. I mean, it's not. I mean, I know there's some, and I get it. And guess what? Unfortunately, we're doing a count, and you get lumped into that count for that. So, all right. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to do selected local stocks, which is probably. I don't know if it's in the A section or it is in the A section. It is on page A8 in the bottom left-hand corner. These are selected local stocks as of 4 p.m. Monday, not to be construed as an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any security. Alcoa Incorporated closed at $31.03. They are down 79 cents.
Aqua America closed at 32 and they are down 16 cents.
Avalon Holdings $2.64, up 19 cents.
Chemical Bank $49.45, up 23 cents.
Community Health Systems $9.64, up 3 pennies.
Cortland Bank Corp $18.73, level.
You got the level. Woo woo.
I remembered.
Yeah. Farmers National $14.70. They're up a dime.
First Energy $29.06, up 23 cents.
Fifth Third Bank $24.94, up 14 cents. Skip it. Go to the next one.
First Niles Financial
10.
1,002.
No,
Or
10.
what is? It's 10.
Yeah, that's the
That's
first part's
right,
a
I'm looking at
dividend.
it.
Yeah.
10.50, and that their level.
You got 2 levels in a row. You
Yeah.
rock. All right, FNB Corp closed at $14.69. They're up 19 cents.
And General Motors $33.97, up 20 cents.
General Electric $29.07, down 15 cents.
Huntington Bank $13.05, up 6 cents.
iHeartMedia $2.20, up 20 cents.
And JP Morgan Chase $87.07, up 7 cents.
Key Corp $18.67, down 6 cents.
Macy's $28.67, down 30 cents.
Parker Hannifin $159.30, up 76 cents.
PNC $123.59, up 47 cents.
Simon Property Group closed at $163.14. They're down $1.38.
Stone Ridge $18.12, down 15 cents.
And finally, United Community Financial, the parent of Home Savings and Loan, $8.48. They are down 11 cents. So, you know what? A lot of times they do the gas prices, but they don't have them. It's always kind of interesting to see how gas prices are doing, but for whatever reason, they don't have them in the paper. Have you heard about this Camping World in Gander Mountain?
Yes, actually, one of my family members, actually 2 of my family members work at Gander Mountain, and they say that the Niles location is not closing.
Well, I think they're all closing.
They're all closing, but they're
going to reopen
they're
under
gonna
the
reopen
new
under the new
yeah.
name, And I mean, in our world today, it's just it's the
Shopping-
life of retail.
Yeah, and shopping, obviously retailing is taking a hit. Traditional retailing is taking a hit. Do you buy a lot of stuff online?
I do.
Do you really?
And I do a lot of home shopping and QVC.
Oh, do you really? My mother, oh my gosh, QVC. I have to admit, I put it on Monday nights. I gawk, but I also have this twisted fascination with Monday nights. There's this lady on, and I don't know her name off the top of my head, but she has spiky hair, and her clothes are super weird. They're all, and you know what I'm talking about? They're they got tons of colors in them, and they got ruffles on the bottom, and they're ripped funny, and
I've never seen her.
You probably have. I'm probably just describing her horribly. But I think the clothes are super weird. And they're super expensive. Well, not super expensive, but they're very expensive. Like a t-shirt's $40. And then on at 9 o'clock is Isaac Mizrahi.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he'll talk to the person this is so perfect. If you're going from daytime at the office to the nighttime symphony, you just put this jacket over. I'm who does that? But I'm fascinated, and I watch it for about 15 minutes, and I go to bed because I'm that boring. But it is funny to watch. Now, my mom loves to watch the guy who cooks on Sundays.
Oh, I know who you mean. What is his name? I'm thinking of Carolyn and Dan. They're my favorites.
Are they
on
your
Sunday
favorites?
mornings.
Okay.
I like Sunday mornings with Carolyn and Dan. And
Is it supposed to be kind of like magazine-y, kind of like their co-hosts and kind of
they
nice?
are.
Yeah, okay.
And then they sell all different sorts of things.
So it's not, because my mom will get annoyed if it's computers, because she's I don't want a computer. If it's a whole hour or.
I love having a UPS box at my door when I come home. Nothing
Nice.
makes me happy.
Then seeing the UPS box. So now, traditionally, what kind of things do you buy on the QVC?
Well, I'm awaiting right now. I just bought a GPS.
Okay.
And
Was it the deal of the day or whatever it's called?
It was today's deal.
Today's deal. Nice, nice. Today's deal.
And I'll tell you, it's really priced very well
Okay.
compared to.
So you wanted a GPS. You were looking for a GPS before? Or was it kind of an
It
impulse?
was an impulse buy.
Okay. Would you say most of your things are impulse buys when you're doing that?
Sometimes, and then sometimes I'll go to the store and look. I know one day I went to the store looking for clothes for work.
Okay.
And I couldn't find anything. And I came home and I flipped that on, and just on a whim, they were having a fashion show. And I thought, now that's what I was looking for.
Oh, well, that lucks out.
And then I bought it. And I'm telling you, the quality was very nice.
I would have a hard time buying clothes online because first of all, you can take it back, I know, but like, I don't try anything on in a store. I take it home and then I try it on, I take it back. So I always buy from the stores I know I can take it back relatively easily. Because and I know you can just pack it back up and ship it back to QVC, but that's a hassle. Like for me, but I guess it's really no harder than, because you just go down to the post office or UPS place and you throw it in. It's just as easy as going to Macy's or, wherever.
Actually easier, because a lot of times you have to wait for so long in the stores, and you can go in and just throw it over the counter and you're done. And
that's pretty much what you're doing. You're just throwing it back in a bag. Like I have to wait there, and then why is it not, and you're waiting in line while someone's buying something. I mean, of course they don't have guy stuff on these shopping channels.
No, you're right. They don't.
I don't think the market's, because I think for women it's an impulse, and you sit and watch the show, and they are romancing you in the sense like this would be perfect for your summer beach party, and you're like, yeah. I don't have a summer beach party planned yet, but I might, so I better get it. They're pulling at your heartstrings.
It's true. I just
Do you buy shoes online?
I have. Actually, they just came last week.
Nice.
Easy Spirits.
Okay, nice.
And I don't buy shoes unless they're a brand that I know my size with. And I know I like the Bear Trap boots.
Okay.
And I like the Easy Spirit shoes.
Okay,
and I'm
nice.
usually okay to do those.
Okay.
But I've bought jewelry off there too. Really pretty jewelry.
Yeah. And jewelry's pretty easy because it's either going to work or not. If you don't like it, then you just send it right back.
Just send it back.
It's not really like a fit issue usually or whatever. But yeah, retailing is changing between that and Amazon. But I'm not a big online shopper. I mean, I'm not a big shopper anymore. Period. There was a time when I did shop a lot. Like I would go recreational. We call it recreational shopping. Go out to dinner and just hit some stores and walk around. I haven't done that in probably 10 years. So that's not a big deal, but and like last weekend I wanted a new jacket because we were doing the cycle for a cure and I didn't have anything athletic that I really liked. So I ran up to the mall, I ran in Penny's, I ran in Macy's, they had the same jacket. So I just picked one and then I was out of there. Like I bought the matching pants, but then when I got home I decided I didn't want them, so they have to go back. So I didn't even try them on. I'm like, I don't know if I want them. It's too matchy. But anyway, so yeah, that's my shopping. But and generally speaking, like we would recreational shop. But I mean, I will tell you, for a guy, I got a lot of clothes. I probably have 30, polo shirts and I do have a lot of clothes, but they're not new because and when you're older, you don't need new all the time.
No, you don't. I'm a classic shopper, and I go and buy,
Now, will you shop to cheer you up, though? Like, if you're,
yeah.
Okay, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, I worked retail. I ran a shoe store. So we love people that came in to get cheered up. Like, I'm not against it by any means.
I used to really be bad with shoes. And then I got to a point where I was like, well, I really don't need all of this stuff. I'm more a gift shopper.
So you're always looking for something for somebody else.
I am. That's
Nice.
my thing. I like to walk around and see what's out there.
So you like to go to the knicky-knack stores and stuff like that.
I'm the gift shopper.
Nice, nice. But anyways, at Camping World, Marcus Lemonis, who's chairman and CEO of Camping World, and recently purchased Gander Mountain and Overton's Incorporated out of bankruptcy, recently stated, after reviewing the stores in more detail, in our successful bid in the bankruptcy process, our current goal is to operate 70 or more of the locations, subject to, and among other things, our ability to negotiate lease terms with the landlords on terms acceptable to us and the approval of the bankruptcy court. The current liquidation of the existing Gander Mountain inventory will allow us to start with a clean slate in what we consider to be the appropriate mix and level of inventory, including the addition of Camping World and Overton's offerings where appropriate. There is a Gander Mountain at the Eastwood Mall Complex on Niles Cortland Road. Now you say, and I had heard that the Niles store is on the list of this 70 stores that they're saying will, they just recently expanded.
They did.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a beautiful store. I don't.
I've never been in it.
Oh, they have a lot of. Well, I actually just dropped in there one day to see my cousin. Her and her husband actually both work there. They work opposite shifts and sort of thing.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And I mean, they've been there for years, and it's such a shame, to think that it was going to close. I was very upset when I heard it, but then, as it turned around, it's just being taken over, and I
guess
we're gonna see a lot more of that.
although I will say I won't hold my breath until it's done, because they say these things like, well, we're still going to do this, and it doesn't always work out exactly as they plan. I mean, it seems like they're on the list, and it seems like that's that things are going to work out, but you never know.
Yeah, you really don't. And this economy, you never know.
Exactly.
And really, I'm just noticing even, as I drive through Youngstown and Boardman and even out the Niles Way, how many stores have coming on. Really and truly it continues.
So do you walk the mall often?
I used to, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. I mean, like I said, I was there over the weekend, but that's probably the first time I've been in the mall. I've been in the mall since Christmas, maybe.
Yeah. I'm a Macy's Dillard's girl, so I'll just pull to the entrance of Macy's, go in and get what I need, or go to the entrance of Dillard's, go in and get what I need.
Yeah, the middle stores. I mean, obviously, the mall is created, and I don't know if it's created, but it's a youth world. Most of those smaller boutique stores, well, are either youth or women. Like for a guy, there aren't a lot. There aren't a lot of choices. So I don't really walk it too much anymore. Yeah, I like Macy's. I like Penny's. I like Kohl's. I like TJ Maxx though too. I like to go to TJ Maxx and Marshalls.
I like TJ Maxx and Marshalls. Those
Yeah.
are probably more my go-to stores.
Yeah.
Than
The thing is, you
anything else.
can't get basics usually at those. Like if you need like a dress shirt, you got to go like to a department store or something like. You know what I mean? Like if you need a blue, if you're just looking for something for summer or something like that, those are great stores to go to. But what else is going on?
Let's see. Let's find another story here. Well, out of Youngstown, 13 Youngstown City students received recognition during the Monday evening CEO update meeting. Anything is possible when you invest in a child and when we believe in our children, said City School CEO Krish Mohit. Each student was part of the Ohio State University Young Scholars Program. The program provides an opportunity for academically talented first-generation students with demonstrated financial need to advance their goal to pursue higher education, according to the Young Scholars Program website. Mohip said he hopes to be able to extend the high-quality education each of the 13 students received to all Youngstown students. We want our kids leaving the district to be college ready whether or not they're going to college, he said. That is our job, to set them up for success. Also at the meeting, Anthony De Niro, Maintenance and Operations Deputy Chief, announced that the bids are out to have a heating and cooling system fixed in, let's see here, in 7 classrooms at East High School. In addition, he said the district is very close to finding a solution to a roof problem at William Holmes McGuffey Elementary. I see that being taken care of this summer, De Niro said. During a previous meeting, Board of Education member Jackie Adair said the roof on the elementary school needs replaced. Although Adair was absent, 4 Board of Education members joined the update meeting. Ronald Shadd and Jerome Williams, Board President Brenda Kimball, and Vice President Michael Murphy. The next CEO update meeting will take place at 4:30 p.m. May 22nd at Williamson Elementary.
From Girard City Council wants a traffic study done on a section of Churchill Road near the proposed site of a Dollar General before rezoning 5 parcels in that area from residential to business. More than 10 people attended a public hearing Monday as plans were explained for the business to possibly be located off of Churchill Road near Highland Avenue. Residents who spoke had mixed feelings about the store. Travis Munn, engineering project coordinator with Hurley and Stewart of Kalamazoo, Michigan, who spoke on behalf of Capital Growth Bookholder, said plans are to place a larger Dollar General across from a store that opened in 1992. He explained that there would be a parking lot away from residential areas and a 135-foot buffer on the sides with the back and evergreen trees. Munn said there would also be a water retention pond and catch basins for addressing water drainage. Our layout is sensitive to the residents who live nearby, Munn said. First Ward Councilman Thomas Grumley said that he was concerned about the potential for more traffic on the two-lane street and the safety of pedestrians and local school children who walk nearby. Can Churchill Road absorb more traffic there without a third lane, he said, and trucks coming in and out may back up traffic, making it harder for residents to get in and out of their driveways. Council members Keith Schubert and Mark Standahar said they would like to have a traffic study done to, and I got the page you can read this story, to see the amount of vehicles that would come in and out of the property before making any decisions on rezoning the 5 parcels for the project. Munn said larger trucks deliver early in the morning once a week. He and other project representatives were at the meeting and agreed to a traffic study. Resident Richard DeSalvo said the store would bring in more businesses, which mean more traffic. The traffic on Churchill Road is already bad enough. School buses are already stopped there because of the backed up traffic to the store. Resident Chuck Doran said that residents already get a lot of water on Highland Avenue and Churchill Road from nearby Shannon Road, and the store will create even more. The neighbors just do not want this. Resident John Littell, who is the owner of the property, said he would like to see the store bring something positive for Girard. He said the Dollar General on State Route 46 in Mineral Ridge has not caused traffic problems, even as a heavily traveled route. Resident Carol Deed said that the city needs to bring in more businesses and officials should work with the company. In other business, Girard Mayor James Melfi reported bids for the planned canoe launch beneath the Girard McDonald Viaduct off Mahoning River, and all came in higher than the engineers had projected. Of course they have. He said lowest bid came in at over $400,000. Melfi said that the project's going to have to be rebid. He also said the project may not get done this year due to all the work planned. Officials are looking at a canoe launch to allow people to explore the Mahoning River there in Girard. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Well, out of Youngstown, Judge Anthony Diapolito told James Sunderman he has at least a year to work on setting the examples his son and daughter must follow. The judge said Sunderman, who pleaded guilty in Mahoning County Common Pleas Court and was sentenced to at least 1 year in prison for shooting his girlfriend and the children's mother, has to show his son how to treat women and show his daughter that a normal relationship does not consist of abuse. You're setting an example. You're setting a bad one so far, Judge Diapolito said Monday. You can change that, but it will take some effort. Sunderman, 31, pleaded guilty to a charge of felonious assault and was sentenced to 3 years in prison and an additional year for a firearm specification. The terms of his plea agreement under the sentence for the firearm specifications specify Sunderman will get credit for the 6 months he has served in the Mahoning County Jail awaiting the disposition of his case, then serve the remaining 6 months for the firearm specification before the sentence for the felonious assault starts. He can apply for a judicial release after he has served the first 6 months of the assault term. Reports said police were called to Sunderman's home November 6th and found his girlfriend bleeding from a wound to the thigh from a 12-gauge shotgun. The woman told police she had shot herself, but later at the hospital, the woman and her mother told police Sunderman forced the victim to say she shot herself, reports said. Assistant Prosecutor Jennifer McLaughlin said the reasons for the plea and sentence was because the victim in the case did not want Sunderman to be severely punished. Terry Grenga, Sunderman's attorney, said her client has never been in trouble before. She said the sentence calls for at least a year in prison on top of the 6 months he already is serving, so he will be serving time for his actions. Sunderman will be on probation for 3 years after he gets out of prison. Judge Diapolito asked Sunderman about his plans for the future. I don't want to be back here, sir, Sunderman said. Judge Diapolito and Sunderman needs to think of how he can better react to situations in the future so he does not set a bad example for his children.
From the City of Niles, requests for proposals of the installation of the city's water meters will be sent out this week once the law department signs off on them. The request for proposal will be sent out this week once the law department checks them off, with the light, water, and wastewater departments already signed off on the requests. Once the law department signs off on the proposals, they will be sent to as many companies as possible, officials said. I just don't want 2 bids. I want 10 bids so the city can have the best price available, said Service Director Ed Stredney. With the law department signing off on the request, flip the page here, we'll take, The city will be able to advertise properly, whether it will be through a newspaper, a posting on the city's website, or through mass emails sent out to potential companies, officials said. The proposals will be sent to as many companies as possible. Cost estimates will be compared to the cost of having the installation done by city personnel. The target date to have the request returns is June 2nd, allowing for time for the information to be shared with City Council by its next meeting. We're going to see what it will cost to contract out compared to what's installing our own crews to see what's more feasible and can be done in a timely manner, said City Councilman Barry Strefny Jr. It's long overdue. There are about 6,600 residential water meters that were purchased by the city 6 years ago before being placed in storage due to the onset of the fiscal emergency. Since then, the meters have been awaiting installation while sitting in the Niles City pool. The water meters can be read through an online service, making it unnecessary for workers to read them in person. Besides the water meter request, the Finance Committee received an update on requests for a projected utility rate study. The study would cover water, sewage, and electricity rates for the next 5 years and give the City Council an idea on how to plan its budget. The last projected study was done for the Light Department in 2011, according to Superintendent James Newborough. After the price of coal increased from $20 to $30 per ton in 2005 and 2006 to about $150 per ton in 2008 and 2009 for the Light Department to adjust its billing rates. The requests were sent out last week to Utility Financial Services, which performed the last study. The Light Department approached the Finance Committee with requests for new vehicles, including a Ford F-250 with a snow package, a Ford F-450 stake body truck, and a tree trimming dump truck. The requests were approved by the Finance Committee, but legislation passed by Council is required before the vehicles can be purchased. Wow. So a lot of stuff going on in Niles.
There he is. MCTCC students learn about nutritional value in America's food culture. After a teacher raised questions about the nutritional value of the food in the schools, some enterprising students at Mahoning County Career and Technical Center decided to grow their own. Students recently planted the first seeds for a garden they hope will bloom into a school farm, but the idea initially was planted in Anthony Sissik's English class. Our eyes weren't really open to how unhealthy food culture is in America until our eyes were widened by Sissik, said Bryce Rickendollar, Jr. at MCCTC. They were researching aspects of American food culture, and Sissik said most of them ended up being negative. The students kind of developed the idea of let's start a little garden, and then it became let's start a little farm, and that's where we're at, Sissik said. The farm, which recently was approved by the student board, will allow students to grow healthy food that can be used in the school cafeteria and given to students in need. Students and teachers plan to roll the project out in 3 phases. This year, they're testing crops to see what works best with the soil, among other factors. Our biggest problem is going to be deer, said social studies teacher Anina Karlovic. We need to figure out what we can grow that the deer are not going to decimate. Next year, the students plan to make the food available to students in the cafeteria and in the food pantry. Karlovic said that that's the major focus. We have such a high population of students in need, and they go to the pantry, and their options are boxes and cans, she said. We wanted to be able to put some fresh food options in there as well to promote a little bit healthier eating. In year 3, the plan is to spur more community involvement. People who can't plant gardens at home would be able to use a plot at the facility allotted for community gardens. The students plan to grow organic foods using as few pesticides and chemicals as possible. Other MCCTC juniors are excited by the project, which will offer educational opportunities for students in horticulture, biotechnology, construction, and culinary arts. It's a great opportunity for everyone to get together and have a good time and promote healthier food choices, said Alyssa Brenner, especially at schools, added Cheyenne Pizzell. That's what we want to do instead of using processed food that you don't even know what's inside of. They will start small, planting an area of about 900 square feet, but they have been allotted 2 acres with the potential to expand even further. Karlovic said if everything works out, the farm would include a barn and a tractor. Among the grants she and Sissik are pursuing is one that would provide them with a mini orchard. Sissik said they are open to talking with groups and organizations interested in supporting the farm. We want it to be an education destination, Karlovic said, not just for our students, but for students all over the area.
From Liberty trustees on Monday gave an initial approval for new contracts that freeze the wages of Township Road and Fire Department employees for the next 3 years. Liberty trustee Stan Nadell said that trustees plan to sign the labor agreements this week after they received them from the 2 unions representing those employees. The unions are also scheduled to sign the contracts before the end of the week. The new pact with the International Association of Firefighters, Local 2075, which represents about 16 employees, is retroactive to January 1st and runs through December 31st, 2019. The new agreement with the Teamsters Local 377 that represents 4 road workers is retroactive to May 1st and will run through April 30th, 2020. Newdell said due to limited finances, both unions agreed to 0 pay increases over the next 3 years for the agreement. Also on Monday, trustees presented a plaque to resident Kim Quinlan for her community service work that includes activities with Liberty in Bloom, which plants flowers in the community, and Liberty Historical Society, which promotes the township's history. Liberty also purchased through a 3-year lease a 2016 Ford Interceptor police cruiser at $33,029 with payments of $11,918 the first year, $10,124 the second, and $10,985 the third year. They also purchased through a 3-year lease a 2017 utility Interceptor at $39,246 with payments of $14,162, $12,030, and $13,053 in the first, second, and third years respectively. Liberty trustee Jason Rubin voted in favor of leasing the 2016 vehicle, but against the 2017 vehicle, indicating that he was concerned that the limited funds for getting 2 vehicles. The vehicles, though, were obtained through a state purchasing program. They also praised the efforts of Liberty and Bloom volunteers who helped beautify the township street, islands, and roadside signs with flowers and plants this spring. All right, well, the music is playing. Mr. Muter is telling us we're going to take a break. If you're watching us live here on social media, we're going to be cutting out at this point, so we bid them adieu. Mr. Muter, we are ready for our break if you're ready to give it to us. All right, we will be back on the flip side. We'll see you then.